Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we talk about a persistent issue in jails dealing with inmates and smuggling. And a Harlan County father injured in a fire this week is still fighting for his life. And an 18-year-old was killed in a Bell County crash yesterday morning after walking onto US 25 East. We'll bring you the latest.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning and happy Friday to you. The time is about 6:32. Let's check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast this morning. Brandon, good morning and happy Friday.
Good morning and happy Friday to you, Connor. And we're looking again at kind of a soggy start to the day. Let's take a look at the last 6 hours. And again, very soggy this morning across the area and a line of showers forming. You see that there on live pinpoint Doppler radar and some heavy bands going through parts of the I-64 and Mountain Parkway corridor. So be extra careful if you're traveling north. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s this morning, and that's across the state as well. We're not going to move a whole lot today as we kind of stay steady for the morning hours, and then hopefully clear out a little bit, become more scattered by the afternoon, and we get up to right around 63. The rest of your forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Connor?
All right, thanks, Brandon. Well, jailers across the region call it a persistent issue. Inmates trying to smuggle drugs and contraband behind bars. The Letcher County jailer says he caught 2 inmates trying to pass drugs from cell to cell. The jailer showed WYMT's Taylor Upchurch the security video.
Suspicious of dangerous drugs looming Letcher County jail cells, deputies work hard to combat the drug epidemic.
These people are hooked on drugs, and they'll go to extreme lengths to hide those drugs.
Which is exactly what jail officials say Curtis Anderson and Corey Fraley did, once moved to a visitation room just down the hall.
I could see that one had cupped something in his hand, which appeared to be white in color and round, and the purpose for that, I felt like, was he was going to reach that, somebody tried to do something with it. And sure enough, here come another inmate over, and he took possession of that from that guy. Then he went over and kind of sat on the ledge or the window sill of the visitation room, and he tried to insert that into his rectum.
A few new cameras were installed not long before this incident.
I was like, Lord, I'm glad to have the cameras.
Now deputies are able to keep better watch. Just like in this incident, they noticed a second bag of what appeared to be meth thrown onto the floor. With enough reason, deputies searched the inmates. Bert Sloan tries to recover all he can, though the task is not always all that pleasant.
Shout out to Wattsburg ARH. They will x-ray those people for us if we think that they have something in their bodies.
Not just keeping drugs out of reach, but keeping inmates alive. In Letcher County, Taylor Upchurch, WYMT Mountain News.
Both Anderson and Fraley now face several additional drug charges and tampering with physical evidence. Sloan says the substance found, which appears to be meth, will be sent to a lab in the coming days. And a Harlan County father injured in a fire this week is still fighting for his life. Sadly, officials tell us Chad Howard remains in critical condition. His wife, Allison, died Wednesday. Their twin children were found in the burned remnants of their home Monday. As of now, investigators have not said what they believe caused the fire. Services for Allison and the children will be held this weekend. Meanwhile, the community is coming together to support the family. A Sunday supper will be held April 28th from noon till 3 at the Benham Schoolhouse Inn. Adults cost $12.95, while children 6 to 12 eat for $7.95. Children younger than 6 eat for free. An 18-year-old was killed in a Bell County crash yesterday morning after walking onto US 25 East. Police say around 4:20 yesterday morning they got a call that someone had been hit by a truck in Pineville. Troopers say a 2010 Ford F-150 struck the person when they entered the roadway. By the time the driver saw them, they were unable to stop. When the Bell County coroner made it to the scene, 18-year-old Ethan Fugit was pronounced dead.
As a police officer, to go out here and have to work these type of complaints, that's one that you don't want to have to work.
Right now, we do not know the funeral arrangements for Ethan. Once we learn those, we'll pass them along to you on WYMT.com. A Colorado interstate was shut down in both directions near Lakewood. A major fire caused by an accident involving several vehicles made the area unsafe for drivers. Authorities also confirmed several people were killed, although they have not released an exact number. 3 semi-trucks and a dozen cars collided on Interstate 70 Thursday, sparking the blaze. Firefighters from several agencies responded to the scene and put out the fire. And there's a hidden danger on the roads. It's illegal and potentially putting your family at risk. We're talking about rollback odometers. The data shows there are at least 1.6 million vehicles with phony mileage across the U.S. In Kentucky, that's more than 15,000 vehicles on the roads right now. WYMT investigative reporter Rachel DePomba goes undercover, exposing digital rollbacks, saving you money and a big headache.
There's something you need to know the next time you're in the market for a used car. Vehicle odometers are easier than ever to roll back. Blink, and you'll miss this one.
There are now 1.6 million cars that are on the road across the country that have an odometer rollback.
Chris Basso is with Carfax, a company that provides vehicle history reports.
People think, oh, you can't do that, but you can.
You're simply taking a device that hacks into the car's computer. You can take 100,000 miles off the car and artificially inflate the value of it by thousands of dollars.
Nightmare car.
That's what Erica Baez calls her BMW.
Yes, it's just a nightmare. I wish we would have never bought it.
She got it a few months ago. It's supposed to be a fun weekend car for this Midlothian, Virginia mom. She purchased a 2008 BMW at a dealer in Northern Virginia for $9,500. The mileage?
It says 136,507.
But you don't believe this number?
No, I don't.
Erica's had a laundry list of problems with the car.
There's a check engine light issue. There's a tire issue. At first, it had a hard time just turning off and on or turning on quickly. The starter and the alternator was messed up.
And just 3 days after she got it, a tire nearly fell off. A dealer handed her a $5,000 tab to fix all the problems. And then she saw an auto check report.
Here, this notification that basically says that the odometer had issues.
So there starts 44 miles.
Right, 44,000. And then we're here, and you see the 218.
The report shows her car is currently missing 82,000 miles.
I would have never thought that a digital odometer could actually have a rollback.
What did you learn from this?
Definitely make sure you get the auto check and the Carfax report. I would never buy another used car, without having both reports from both sides.
It's really scary.
Consumer attorney John Gale is helping Erica fight to make things right.
If someone sold that vehicle with a rollback odometer to the dealer, and even if the dealer didn't know, you can go after the person up the line for treble your damages or $10,000 and all legal fees.
Here's how you can protect yourself. Get an auto check and a Carfax report and compare them to each other. Get an independent mechanic you trust to go over the vehicle. If you think the mileage sounds too low, trust your instinct. Be skeptical. Ask questions.
Your due diligence is so important, especially with, a used car that's no longer under warranty or anything like that. So, lesson learned.
If you do suspect your mileage has been tampered with, you should contact Kentucky's DMV. That agency will investigate. And one frustrated neighbor is sick of the smell of sewer filling the air in his neighborhood in Martin County. Bill Murphy says it has happened 3 times since Sunday. The smell sticking around long after the break is fixed. As Chad Hendrick explains, the bill is putting pressure on the county to fix it before it gets worse.
Not everything is coming up roses for Bill Murphy. His Warfield neighborhood smelling like sewer.
The odor's been bad a couple of days. I've not been home a whole lot the last couple of days.
That's because of this break in the sewer line across the street, breaking 3 times in 4 days.
When it first hits you, it kind of takes your breath away for a minute.
And not in a good way. The break pours sewage from homes up Collins Creek right into Bill's front yard and into a creek. Bill now worries about his health and the environment.
I'm hoping this don't affect my health because I'm not feeling real good right now, and I'm stopped up and everything, and I don't know. I'm hoping it's not from this.
I took Bill's concerns to the Martin County Water Department. They say the issue is isolated, and every time there is a line break or any other water or sewer breaks are reported, they respond. They say a problem they are seeing is some breaks are only posted about on social media and not reported to them until later.
I'm tired of the sewer running in my property.
But Bill's breaks have been reported and fixed. He's just done with having to constantly make the reports.
Yes, it should be a permanent fix. They should take the time and the resource to repair it one time instead of 3 or 4 times, which would cost more money, more manpower in the long run.
A cost Bill says the county can't afford because of other financial issues. Chad Hedrick, WSAZ News Channel 3, Martin County.
Water Department officials say they were not aware of a third break, but Bill says they were out later in the day fixing it again. Now let's check in with Brandon. Brandon, we'll look at your forecast.
Hi, I'm Brandon. Listen, it's Friday. Everybody's struggling a little bit this morning, especially with all these dreary conditions outside across the region this morning, outside the WYMT studios. Rain still falling, so be careful. Give yourself some extra time to get where you're going. Stonecrest Golf Course, daylight has happened, but cloudy skies and rain falling actively right now. Across the region, we're continuing to track that rain coming in waves in the overnight hours. And again, good sleeping weather, but when you got to get up and go places, not so good this morning. Slow down. Watch out for ponding water on the roads. Don't hydroplane and use those low beams in case you run into some fog. Moving through, so we're getting a little bit more clear as we head to the west. Temperatures in the 50s this morning. That's probably where they're going to stay for most of the day, upper 50s, and then heading back into the low 60s by this afternoon. Your 12-hour planner, you can see, kind of stable there for a while, but as the rain starts to become more scattered, temperatures increase just a little bit. The weekend, though, looks much drier. Connor?
All right, thanks, Brandon. We will have stories trending on WYMT.com next. Thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. And still to come, at least 5 people are dead across 2 states after violent storms tore through the South. We'll bring you the latest.